back on the road to glory. Man, it feels good to be back to talk about some real football once again. Last week, um, what was it? The appetizer. This week, more of the main course. What did Paul Pierce say in that one clip? He was like, I want a little taste. I want the full load. No pause. I want the full load. And I got it. It was a great weekend of football. We got some great games. My Gators got a dub, a shutout dub. Um, Steph, I know your Ducks also got a dub. But before we talk about all these games, before we talk about all the action, let me welcome you into the show. How are your vibes? How are you feeling? What's going down?
No, I was hoping you weren't talking about that quote, but if that's what you want, I mean, hey, but it was a wild week one, man. I mean, we had football for what 5 days straight, and it seemed like every day there was at least one game that was either a highly anticipated matchup or the game ended up being a banger. So there was a lot going on, man. Like you said, my Ducks played well. Got the the large victory over Montana State. I know it's an inferior opponent, so you're not necessarily looking at the score. You're more so looking at how the people played, and you know there was a lot of positives to take away there. I think so. I'm excited. I think this team has a lot of potential, and like I said, it was a wild week one, so I'm ready to talk about it.
Yeah, so let's get into it all then. Like you mentioned, every single day it seemed like there was a great game or a highly anticipated matchup at least. Um, and goes all the way back to Thursday because remember, this was an extended week of football. Um, Let me go ahead and pull up the matchups. Okay, here we go. So yeah, all the way back to last Thursday. I think it really started off, I think, with one of the bigger G5 matchups that we're going to have this year between two teams that we both kind of previewed are potentially teams that we're looking to make that run for that final playoff bid that is allotted to the top rated G5 team. Um, And that game was between South Florida or USF. I think they're kind of like UCF now in LSU, where they don't want to be known as University of South Florida. They want to just be USF now. I think. Well, they took on Boise State, the defending G5 champs, if you will, the actual Mountain West champs, and man, this was a game that I kind of highlighted and I kind of mentioned that I believed in South Florida to keep it at least close, if not get the win. And they blew Boise State out of the water. I mean, this was not even really competitive outside of the first couple of minutes of the game. South Florida just had their way. USF did whatever they wanted. Byron Brown, that's a quarterback that we know a little bit about just based on um, our experiences, but he just kind of put the rest of the country on notice um, and reminded everybody that he is one of the top quarterbacks in the state of Florida, regardless of the level of football. And yeah, man, I think USF, Alex Golish, like I mentioned, I think that's a great pairing. I think he's an up and coming rising coach. And I think they're a dangerous team, and they have a chance to really make some noise in this playoff push.
Yeah, man. I think that was a pretty surprising performance from Boise State. I think everybody thought they was going to take a step back from last year, but I don't think anybody expected that. I mean, Byron Brown just running all over people, trucking people, stiff arming people, pretty much doing whatever he wanted to that defense. So, I think your G5 playoff pick might be cooked. But I'm gonna be honest, no disrespect to these teams or anything like that, but I think that was a pretty surprising day from Boise. But I'm ready to talk about this this Crimson Tide, man. I mean, I feel like they're I'm not trying to say we should be hitting the panic button or anything like that, but that's definitely got to be the biggest surprise, the biggest storyline, the biggest what the hell moment of the weekend is Florida State with everything going on over there coming out and punching Alabama right in the mouth and getting that done and having a pretty decisive victory over them, on Saturday and really making a statement after all that's been going on over the course of the off season and especially coming off of a 2-10 season.
Yeah, and I definitely want to get to that, but I do want to just get through Thursday and Friday real quick before we can spend a lot of time on that because you're right, that is obviously the biggest storyline, and I think we're going to talk a lot about that. So let's real quick highlight some of these Friday games because that was the only big true game on Thursday. My Scarlet Knights played on Thursday. They called a dub, but didn't make me feel good about them. That defense has issues. And Nebraska and Cincinnati, man, Nebraska they finally won a close game. So kudos to them. But like I mentioned, I thought Cincy would keep the game close. I think I might even pick them to win in one of my parlays. They didn't win outright, but um, I don't get where this Nebraska hype is coming from. I really don't. And I think we kind of seen it right there. Auburn and Baylor. This is a game that we did pick. We picked differently. I went with Baylor to cover. You went with Auburn. Auburn kind of dominated. Um, they just ran the ball all over Baylor. And it never really felt like there was a few moments where Baylor felt a little dangerous and like they maybe could make a run and push Auburn. But it kind of felt like Auburn controlled this game to start from start to finish. I don't think we really learned much about Jackson Arnold. He didn't really have to do too much when he did. He looked good, but um, yeah, I thought that was a pretty solid win for Auburn because I don't think Baylor's a pushover team. Um,
No, I don't think Baylor's is a pushover by any means, but I think it was a great opportunity for Auburn to show that talent that they have, and I think that, like you said, we didn't really learn much about Jackson Arnold, the passer, but I don't think we ever seen him run like that
he was running
in
well.
the
Yeah,
past. So I think he showed a lot of athleticism. And if your O line is pushing the team around like that, you don't have to throw the ball. So I think we expected them to maybe do a little bit more passing because they got Cam Coleman coming back. They brought in Eric Singleton, and they were trying to get those guys the ball. I mean, Cam Coleman only had one catch, but they gave Singleton the ball in a few run plays. He had a few catches, but like you said, the main factor was Jackson Arnold running the ball, and it also might have been a symptom of what Baylor was trying to take away on defense. They might have been saying, you
yeah.
know what, we're not going to let Cam Coleman destroy us, and we're making you do something else. And Auburn said, okay, well, we can do something else. So,
Right.
I think there's always that factor as well. So, you know, it was a really good win for Auburn. I think a lot of people were picking Baylor, like you said. You picked Baylor.
Yeah.
I was rocking with the Tigers on that one, but
Yep.
I also just think that game was a factor of the more talented team winning. That's one thing
Yeah.
that you see when you watch sports and especially college football over a longer period of time. You see that talent wins more often than not. And I know Auburn hasn't been the best team as of late, but they got a new coach. They've gotten a little bit better each year. They've gotten better players each year. So I just feel like this year, I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs or do anything like that, but I feel like they should be better than 5-7. And
I,
I think this win over Baylor is going to be a huge part of getting to a bowl game.
I definitely agree. I will say I was a little bit disappointed in Baylor's offense. I kind of felt like they were kind of lost out there. That quarterback, I felt like he has some talent, but he just wasn't really able to get it done. Robertson, I think his name was. He just wasn't really doing it for Baylor at all. But yeah, that was a solid one for Auburn. To be honest, I was a little bit surprised seeing how they controlled that game. And I think another team that surprised me, one of the other biggest surprises for me, obviously not as big a surprise as Florida State, which we'll get to, but Colorado, Georgia Tech beats Colorado 27-20. But I thought Colorado played pretty well. I mean, we could talk about that last minute and the decisions that they made and ending the game with two timeouts and wasting all that time. But I thought for majority of that game, Colorado was very competitive. They played well. You're losing Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter, two two of the best players in that program's history. That's not going to be easy to replace. On top of Jimmy Horn and whoever else left as well. So to see them kind of really not miss a beat and to play a solid competitive brand of football, shout out to Deion Sanders, man. Colorado got himself a little bit of a team, and I don't think they're going to be as trash as I originally thought they were going to be this year. I didn't think they were going to be trash. I thought they would be fighting for bowl eligibility, and I still maybe think they will be. I don't think this changes my expectations too much because they lost to Georgia Tech, but I do. Um, I think they'll be competitive, and I think they have a better shot in some of these games than I originally thought they would. Um, but all right,
Yeah. I think, this game was pretty similar to the Baylor and Auburn game, where what was the main thing
yeah,
that
talent.
caused them to lose the game? Well, not just that, it was the quarterback run. I think in
Oh, that
both
too. Yeah, Haynes
games,
King went beast mode.
yeah, in both games the quarterbacks had 150 yards rushing.
Yeah,
So that was something that Colorado had a lot of trouble with. Um, you know, it was they also got pushed around a lot. I mean, there was guys just straight up getting blocked, and that's kind of a common theme. Like,
that
some of
is.
these other games that we're going to talk about. Guys are just getting blocked in a lot of these games, man. They not getting off of blocks. Linebackers aren't recognizing. They're not, filling these gaps and things like that. Like, that's one thing you got to recognize. If you see a puller, 9 times out of 10, where's the ball going? He's going to follow the puller. So, there's things like that I guess guys are just not seeing. I'm not in the building. I don't know what the calls are. I don't know what the assignments are. I don't know what they're being taught to do. But, you know, like I said, guys are just getting blocked there. Georgia Tech did not have a problem running the ball. Again, the botched timeouts at the end. I mean, how do you end the game? You have the ball, mind you, you're at home and you have the ball with a chance to tie the game at the end, and you somehow go home with two timeouts. You can't use the timeouts when you go
Right.
home, man.
And I
I
mean,
didn't know if I was watching Deion Sanders or Mario Cristobal because that was crazy.
yeah, and Dion tried to go after the game and say, "Oh well, we felt like we didn't really need to use them. We got out of bounds." No, like we all watched the game. They wasted literally, I think it was like 32 seconds. I went back and I counted. I think it was like
Yeah.
32 seconds or something like that that they wasted off of timeouts
I
because the
mean, there was
one
also that one play where Salter took forever to throw the
ever,
ball and
yes.
wasted like 15 seconds on one play.
And they had another play where they were short of the sticks on that little curl route, and he got tackled, didn't get out of
Yeah.
bounds, and he didn't get the first down. So the clock kept like no. There were ample opportunities, and I get like you have to go the whole field, and you want to be able to have a timeout when you're in the red zone if you potentially get there, but you got to take it one play at a time, and you got to
Yeah.
deal with whatever's in front of you. You can't be thinking and planning for a head when a head might not ever come. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah. And
definitely a little bit of
I
a
wasn't
coaching. Go ahead.
I wasn't really impressed with Kaden Salter either. I felt like he was missing a lot of throws.
He
There
made
was
a couple
one
throws,
throw,
but he missed some throws as well.
bro. There was a throw to a wide open running back where there was nobody around him. He kind of had to escape the pocket, but to me, it was just like not having a good feel of the situation because
Yeah.
there was nobody around him. I guess he got happy feet, got jitters, maybe thought defender was closing in on, but there was nobody around him. The running back was wide open, probably could have scored a touchdown. He definitely would have got a first down, and he just throws it over his head. And there was other throws like that. There's no pressure, clean pocket, miss. And it's like this guy's a veteran quarterback. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like he's played a lot of football, and you're coming in with all this hype. Like these are plays that you had to make if you want to have a successful season. You're
And if
playing
you want to
against
keep your job, they got a 5-star sitting on the
exactly,
bench.
exactly. They have a guy that the fans want to see. I don't know what's going on in practice. Who knows if the players think he's better? So, you know, these are the plays you got to make, and you're playing against a good team in Georgia Tech, who a lot of people are having as a sleeper in the ACC, and you look at what happened over the weekend. Georgia Tech might have a pretty good shot at winning that conference or making the conference title. So, you know, they're not going to be a slouch. They're not going to be a team that you can just walk onto the field and beat. No, you have to do the right things. You have to make plays. Like they're not going to roll over for you because you're Colorado. And you got to remember too, people still, even though Travis and Shadera are gone, people still are going to give you their A game because it's Deion Sanders. People when they score a touchdown are going to be doing Deion Sanders celebrations. Like like you still have a target on your back. There's still that element of okay, this team may not have won anything, but people still want to beat you down. Okay, so you might not be the best team, but people just want to beat you down because of who you are. So you got to come out and really do all the right things, make all the right plays, and but I think there was some positives to take away from this game. Like I said, I think that there was you know better line play on both sides of the ball. I thought their defense still played well. Like again, this was a pretty close game. It was only 20-27. You got Georgia Tech not really able to throw the ball that well. Haynes King, like I said, rushed for over 150 yards. I think he had 3 touchdowns himself, but passing wasn't really that impressive. Um, so yeah, I think there's some positives to take away from this game if you're Colorado, but I mean they just weren't able to make the plays that they need to make to win this game. I mean Haynes King, 13 for 20, 143 yards, 0 touchdowns, no interception. I mean 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean sort of an efficient day. I'm pretty sure there's a few throwaways in there. But the also the other big takeaway I gotta say about this game is that Georgia Tech fumbled the ball 3 times, or they turned it over 3 times right in the beginning of the game, and y'all only came away with 7 points. I mean, right then and there, that was a sign to me that Colorado wasn't gonna win this game because you should have got at least 10, 14. Not saying you had to score a touchdown every time, but you should have chewed some clock. You should have got more than 7 points when you get the ball gifted to you and you get it on a short field. So I don't know, man. Like I think this is a conference that they're in that is still going to be tough to win. All these games they're playing against teams with similar or better levels of talent. So this is tough, man. Like when you're this kind of team and you're playing in a conference like the Big 12 where we know everybody can beat everybody, you need to win these non-con matchups so that you can really do something. Um, and yeah, like I think that when you don't take advantage of these turnovers and things like that could be something that really get you back in the end like it did in this game because they should have ended this game before halftime. You go down the field and score a touchdown in the beginning, and then get 3 turnovers. Come on, man, you got to be able to score more than 7 points, man. So, um, yeah, like I just think that this Colorado team has a lot to work on. Um, they also, I mean, they ran the ball okay, 4.7 yards a carry as a team, 31 carries, 146 yards. Like that's a solid day. Um, I wonder how much in there is sacks, but you know, like I said, I think this could be a solid team going forward. Yo, yo. Yo, yo,
Talk again.
yo.
Yeah, I hear like I don't know, something is messed up on my end. But
Yeah,
you're
your
echoing,
mic
and I hear
sounds
like
like